And we are going to begin this hour with the potential of Air Canada going on strike that could come as early as this weekend. Contract talks continue between the airline and the union that represents over 10,000 flight attendants. Now, this comes as hundreds of cabin crew picketed outside 4 of the country's biggest airports today. Michelle Gassou joins us now, and she's been following this story. So, Michelle, take us through what today's demonstration was all about.
Well, today's action was an opportunity for these flight attendants to bring awareness to the traveling public about the issues they are bringing to the employer, Air Canada, as they negotiate behind the scenes. As you can see from their signs, their wages is a major sticking point in these negotiations. Flight attendants have been locked into a 10-year contract that expired in March, and for that reason, they say their wages have not kept up with the cost of living as we have seen those costs go up. Another issue that they are bringing to the attention of the public is that they say under the current pay structure with Air Canada, they are not paid for any work that occurs prior to an airplane taking off or after the airplane lands. So that is arriving at the airport, assisting with check-in and getting passengers onto flights, those last-minute security checks, as well as the deplaning process. Now, how is this all going behind the scenes? Of course, Air Canada is remaining very tight-lipped. Last week, we did see Bloomberg reporting that a 30% wage increase over 4 years was potentially on the table. The union told CBC News that they have not seen that exact number, so we will have to see where they land with negotiations, and they will continue negotiating throughout this week.
So in the meantime, what have you been hearing from travelers on this day of action?
I think there was a little bit of confusion from travelers because this does look like a picket line, but there is no disruption to travel today. So what do you need to know if you are potentially traveling? Well, the earliest you could see job action will be 12:01 Eastern Time on the 16th, and that is Saturday. But the union would need to issue a 72-hour strike notice prior to that, so that would come on Wednesday. So those are the 2 key dates to keep out for if you are traveling. But speaking to passengers in both Vancouver and Toronto, we're expressing concern about their flights being impacted, but also expressing concern about some of the issues that they were hearing raised today. Take a listen to some of what they had to say.
I do not believe that is fair. I'm a big union guy, so if they do strike, I will 100% not cross that picket line.
I feel for them. I think they should be paid the moment they arrive at the airport until the moment they leave, and not just when the airplane's in motion. It doesn't make sense.
We support them. We're a little nervous about our own plans, of course, but we do believe that people need to fight for their jobs and better wages.
So, a lot of them saying that that security issue that was raised, that those flight attendants do assist with those last-minute security checks on flights. They do feel like they should be paid for that work. At the same time, of course, travelers concerned that they could be impacted. No one wants to be stranded in an airport somewhere, not knowing how they're getting home.
You're not wrong there, Michelle. So do we have any advice for people who are really worried about their travel plans?
Well, the advice from Air Canada this time is do not cancel your flight because they will be negotiating. Their goal is to avoid a strike. An expert told us they also recommend do not cancel that flight because you could see some financial compensation if your flight is impacted. Their advice as well, book a refundable flight on another airline. That's not always possible, but it is a good backup plan if you are able to do so.
Great to know. Thanks so much, Michelle. Well, our next guest is an Air Canada flight attendant and the vice president of CUPE 4094 in Vancouver. Henly Larden joins us now. Henly, thank you for making time for us.
My absolute pleasure.
Henly, talk to me about today, how it went with this day of action, and what was the message you were trying to get out?
Ultimately, we just want the public and our colleagues, Air Canada, understand that it's not fair for us to work and not be paid. We know that Air Canada has made billions over the last years, and ultimately they can afford to pay flight attendants appropriate wages without rising costs to the public. And so by fostering engagement across the coast, across Canada here, and having everybody kind of be present, be forward facing, and kind of really bringing in the public's eye, it's a opportunity for us to really say, look, we're here. We just want to be fairly compensated. And it takes you, Air Canada, to really answer to that.
What's the sense you're getting from Air Canada that you're being heard and that they are going to move forward with your requests?
I mean, ultimately, I'm not at the bargaining table, but I know that our bargaining committee is. They're working day and night with the company. It's not a one-way street. It is, we go forward, it's back and forth. So ultimately, it's in their hands. They make the decision. It's at their cost. But I mean, we're the workers. So a decision does need to be made.
Well, let me read you part of what their last statement was, where they said they want to come to a negotiated settlement with CUPE, one that recognizes the contributions of its flight attendants by making them the best paid in the country, and that also supports the competitiveness and long-term growth for the company. When you hear that, does that give you hope?
You know what? Let's see it happen. I think that's a fantastic statement to be made, but ultimately the fruition, the follow through, that's where it's going to count. I can speak on behalf of our colleagues here. You know what? We love our company. We're still doing the job, even though we're not getting paid. We're safety professionals. We're trained in all of this. We're showing up. But you know what? Put your money where your mouth is.
Henly, explain this to us, because I think for a lot of people, and in my colleague Michelle's reporting, a lot of people didn't know that you all are working and not getting paid. So can you give me a few illustrations of how and when that's happening?
Yep, absolutely. So essentially, any time that the crew is assisting on board, whether that be safety-related briefings and or a medical emergency, everything leading up to the point where the wheels push back is unpaid. So until the wheels move, we are not paid. It could be hours, it could be minutes. Ultimately, over a span of a month, there's on average 35 hours that go unpaid. We're just saying enough is enough. We love our company. We love what we do, but ultimately we need to be paid for that time and those efforts.
Okay. And help alleviate some of the concerns for some travelers who think, listen, if you guys go into a strike, I don't know how I'm going to get to wherever I need to get to. And the other thing being, what if you guys get these pay raises and then all the fare prices go up?
Well, ultimately, Air Canada has been making a lot of money over the last couple of years. And so if they were to follow through and pay their employees, it should be at no cost to our passengers, the public. That's a decision they make, they can own it. But ultimately, I can say this, we love our passengers. They are the ones that keep our skies flying. We have zero intent to strike. That is not anything we're interested in. But really, it comes down to Air Canada has to follow through on I guess, this latest statement or anything they're stating or claiming to go forward. We don't want to disrupt passengers' plans. We love this. Our passion is the skies. So let's take this momentum, move forward, educate the public, say, you know what, you want to get involved, please share this. Make sure people know and understand what this means, because the more pressure our public can put on the company, maybe that'll put them a little bit further to make that push and make that necessary change that we really do need.
Henly Larden, thank you very much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure.